You're welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis show, and here on Newsfile we put Ghana first. Now straight to my take for this morning, and my take, I entitle it, Why We Don't Win the Corruption Fight. Yesterday in the afternoon, I was in court when a call came from Joy News seeking an interview on government's plan to make corruption a felony by amending portions of our laws on crime. I have known there is something wrong with that general claim by anti-corruption crusaders and even by senior lawyers and retired judges that corruption thrives in Ghana because it is punished as a misdemeanor, i.e. petty crime. Well, I was under the same impression until the trainer of judges and Court of Appeals Justice Dominic Dennis Ejay pointed me to the correct situation sometime in 2015. I had just prepared a special paper on a review of sorts of our anti-corruption laws. This paper was for leaders and key stakeholders in the anti-corruption fight, and I had made a similar call as part of my many recommendations to make corruption a high-risk offense and the laws a lot more effective. I had to later fix that part of my paper accordingly, but to say that an amendment should raise the threshold of the punishment from 5 to 10 years minimum. The maximum sentence, according to the 1965 amendment, is 25 years. So while corruption is generally classified as a misdemeanor in the 1960 law, it is not punished as a misdemeanor, i.e., a maximum of 3 years in jail and potentially without hard labor. That's what misdemeanor is about. But corruption has since 1965, 5 years after we passed the primary law, been legislated to be punished as a second-degree felony. This punishment of up to 25 years in jail often automatically comes with hard labor. So there is my point. This business of making major the campaign promise to elevate the offense of corruption to a felony might not be necessary after all. The finance minister mentioned the sections in the 1960 Act 29 up for amendment to include the mother section on corruption, that is section 239. But this, together with ancillary sections, including the section 151 on extortion, 251 on deceiving a public officer, 124 on stealing, 131 on defrauding by false pretense, 138 on fraud, etc., have been elevated from misdemeanor to felony by section 5 of the 1965 Act 261. Yes, like Esankoma, I think often we waste precious time on what to do when we indeed have some of the best laws to eradicate corruption. The problem isn't the lack of biting laws as it is about lack of enforcement. Ever heard about the Government Contract Protection Act 1979? This is a scant but monstrous 6-sectioned one-page law crafted to exact high-quality execution of government-sponsored infrastructure contracts and service delivery. A violation, especially making fraudulent payments, attracts a refund of up to 3 times the value of the contract, plus a possible jail term of up to 10 years altogether. Guess what? This watertight anti-corruption law with clear purpose to not only jail but recover the loot in threefold and also deny looters a chance to return to enjoy their loot is not known to have been used since it was enacted in 1979. Over $1 billion is paid in bribes around the world each year. This enriches the corrupt at the expense of generations. That's the World Bank speaking in 2004. But the framers of our Constitution, as far back as 1992, recognized this and required in Article 35(8) that, quote, the state shall take steps to eradicate corrupt practices and the abuse of power, unquote. So let's just do it and stop the ritual grandstanding political tokenism of lip service. Next Saturday, God willing, I should share practical experiences about how the fear of politicians by some of the best police officers, BNI, IOCO, SHRAJ, etc., work to either weaken these fine laws or lead to their misapplication and the state's inability to get many convictions as a result. I'm talking about the BNI that arrested and detained a man for allegedly taking pictures of cars parked on the compound of a company belonging to a national security advisor. How do you expect a police officer to do their work professionally when they get transferred for allegedly heckling one of the Muntie Three after one of their contempt sessions at the Supreme Court? Thank you very much. We take a break here. We will return. I'll introduce my guests and we do justice to the PULC matters, very, very serious matters of monies of the state transferred into private individual accounts, and deal with the budgets of 5 loaves of bread, 2 fish to feed 27 million Ghanaians. We'll be right back.